All right, guys, so you are out on the water. You're having a really good day, fun day, using your trolling motor and maybe even catching some fish, whatever it may be. And then all of a sudden you try to stow the motor, the Ulterra, the Minn Kota Ulterra, and it doesn't go all the way in. So that is a very common problem. I'm at Fishing Tackle Unlimited, and look at this. This is where the sausage is made. There's my man, Nick Gibson. And so this is a common problem. First, talk about the problem that you see. Just sitting here with you for about an hour today, 3 guys came in with the exact same thing. Like it's a common problem. It's a common issue. How do you prevent it maybe? But then if you're on the water, it's very frustrating if it doesn't stow all the way. How do you fix that on the water without bringing it in here?
Yeah, so a couple of things. One thing we'll go over, it's called a trim reset. And basically what that does is when you hit this power button, and we'll show you how to do that, the motor itself will come all the way up and it'll hit on the bottom of this mount and it'll drop 6 inches approximately. And that lets it know, okay, this is how far down I am from the bottom of the mount.
Yeah.
So it knows later when you go and stow it, it'll stow all the way properly. And how you do the trim
let's
reset,
see what the trim reset is.
So you hit this power button 3 times real fast. If you don't get it on the first try, that's okay. Sometimes it does take a couple tries because you do have to hit it really fast. But give yourself some time in between like takes for it to kind of recognize and say, okay, I need to do a reset. So we're going to try that right now.
So it goes to about 6 inches. Oh, it hits it and then it goes down to 6 inches.
Yep, it'll drop down about 6 inches.
So what's going on right now?
So right now, the trolling motor knows the positioning of where it's at. So now when you try to go and you trim on your remote, it knows how far down it's going, and when you're turning
and it should be good to go.
And it should be good to go.
Yeah.
So then when you go stow it, it knows, okay, I need to start stowing now at this point.
And you mentioned some other common issues since we have you here at Fishing Tackle Unlimited, where, like I said, this is pretty fascinating in here. Some things that might cause it to not stow properly. You mentioned the bottom right here needs to be clean as well. Some of the other things that are common issues that maybe you can even fix on the water.
Yeah, so I'm going to deploy it right now. Give it some time. So what it did right now is it trimmed all the way down to where it was previously.
Yeah.
So wherever you were at on the water, it's going to go back to that same spot. So I'm going to turn this motor a little bit, but you can see old John, he uses his trolling motor quite a bit.
I do.
And you get these wear marks from the paint, and sometimes that could get hung up right here on these motor ramps.
So you got to keep those clean.
You got to keep.
You got to keep this part clean too.
Yeah. Well, you can make sure it's clean. It's gonna get weared because of the paint.
Yeah. But this is the main thing.
This is the main thing. It's plastic. It gets rubbed down. There's constant friction on here. Just make sure you keep these clean. Me and John, we just use some PV Blaster just to clean initially. Yeah. And then just for a lubrication, we just put some Corrosion X on there. Okay. Just so it slips off.
Slides on there good.
Yes.
And what about, and this is not just exclusive to Ulterras, but daily maintenance. These are saltwater motors. Yes. Daily maintenance that can kind of help us from coming to see you all the time. Maybe take a little load off because you got a lot of motors in here.
A lot of motors in here. It's really easy just to hose off your stuff and just get everything clean. A water hose goes a long way. They don't need a lot of cleaning product like some of this stuff right here. It doesn't need a lot. Just simple stuff, and especially like taking off your covers on the sides, even for guys who have Tarovas where they have the stomp pedal where it's a manual
still take those off and you can clean them.
Exactly. Take off your covers every once in a while and just spray in there. You don't have to put any kind of an oil to work, because usually what happens, and this is what Minn Kota has told us, if you start putting a lot of grease on certain parts that don't need grease, you get dirt and debris, which makes it get hung up.
And you're talking about the hydraulic here and all that stuff.
Yes.
Don't ever lubricate that.
So this hydraulic is fine. You don't have to worry about that. But
there's one in here too.
There's a tilt motor on here, and that's what helps bring the motor up. Yeah. And a lot of people will want to grease the screwed shaft.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you grease that, dirt and debris will get on there, and the motor will sense that there's something blocking.
So don't do it.
Don't grease it. You can spray just a liquid base grease or like a white lithium grease, some PV blaster, WD-40, Corrosion X, something liquid that it's not going to attract dirt and debris and other types of matter, because it's going to get hung up. It's going to go in a limp mode and say, hey, I'm getting hung up. Something's in the way. You need to remove the obstruction.
Yeah.
And the same goes for this area right here too. You do not want any kind of leaves or obstruction in this area, because the steering housing actually rests inside of here. And if there is a blockage right here, it'll cause it not to stow properly.
All right. That's fantastic. Right here at Fishing Tackle Unlimited with my man Nick Gibson and everybody over here. But yeah, if you have a trolling motor, you're probably going to have some issues at some point. But there are some things you can do to prevent that. And let me show you this real quick. Yeah, trolling motors have some issues. And this isn't even that many for you, is there? There's some more waiting over here. How many trolling motors a week come in here?
On Monday, probably about 6 or 7. Just depending on how rough it was, Memorial Day weekend or anything like that. But there is a variety in here. Your classic, mounted trolling motors with the old school twist handle. There's some co-pilot. There's a co-pilot in here, so it's like a tow or power drive.
But you guys really do like want people to do it themselves if they can for the simple stuff, and if they have the big issues, then come see you.
If you have the big issues, come see us, because there is a lot of other parts in here that can get a little complicated if you're not tech savvy or mechanically inclined. And you just don't know how to put stuff together, and that's okay. You come bring it to us, and we'll take care of it.
All right. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, and leave the comments. If you have any for Nick in particular, I'll share them, and we like that interaction.